Are we all in agreement that Christmas is not Christmasing this year? Is it just me? I don't know. Something's different. Something is off. Something has changed. I mean, enough things are happening in the world. Obviously, something has changed. I don't know. Something cosmically, something is off. Something's different. Yeah, this year I am just not in the spirit. So today we're going to be touring a build that I did that's sort of a recreation inspired by kind of build of Whoville from How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This build takes inspiration. Primarily, it was from the original animated movie that I watched when I was a kid, and then that felt really, really simple in The Sims 4, so I started layering and layering and layering holiday decorations, and I figured we could check it out today to get in the mental space of this holiday that's upcoming for those who celebrate. So we are getting started by checking out the general sort of layout of this town overall. You can see we have our big tree in the center of town. I think that's probably the most classic and iconic aspect of Whoville. So we have a nice big Christmas tree in the center of town surrounded by a bunch of different buildings. Now, this lot can function as a cafe, as a retail space, as a library, a park, a national park, and of course, a rental or a home. I wanted to make sure to include as many lot types in this build as I could, so you could work this build into your gameplay however you would like to. If you want to download this into your save file, I wanted to make sure that it was useful and allowed you to, have a little bit of holiday fun in however you see fit. So this lot can be many, many things. But first and foremost, we are checking out one of the homes that is on this lot. So this lot consists of, I think, 5 homes and a couple of different retail spaces. I also noticed as I was filming this that this home in particular is pretty dark. I went back and adjusted the lighting. So this isn't a great first example, but now what I did for these is I tried to include everything that you need to live in each building. So there's a kitchen and a bathroom, there's a bed, a little small, tiny little living area. But yeah, if you want to just live in one of these, your sim should have everything that they need. And there are 5 of these on the lot in total, and they're all slightly different. Kind of tweak them slightly from one to the next just to make sure they didn't feel too uniform. That being said, the bathrooms are all very similar, so the bathroom we just checked out is really the only one we're going to look at for the rest of the video. And then as we leave this first lot, we're going to go into our first sort of retail location, which is a espresso bar, a cafe. So this is using the objects that came with the Get Together pack, expansion pack, and in here, as we go in, we have a little espresso bar, lots of little pastries and things like that you can come in and order if you would like to. You can also, even if you're not using this as a cafe lot, you can hire staff to come tend the espresso bar if you would like. But yeah, here's just a little snapshot. Most of these buildings have multiple entrances, so this is one of the few examples where the staff will have to come in the back entrance, as you can't get to the cafe through the front, but otherwise, that's the cafe. One thing notable about that too is that for a lot of these lots, I included a sort of upper balcony. I was kind of running out of things to put in these buildings, and so you'll see a couple of these buildings, rather than having a second floor, there's just a nice little balcony up there, which adds some nice kind of architectural detail, and also took down some build time for me because this was a ferocious build. It took really, really much longer than I had anticipated. Next, we're going to go up to the second home lot. I did kind of skip over the fact that, like I said, this can be a park or a national park. I also included some camping equipment. You'll see there are sleds all over the place, skis. I even put some of the bubble blowers outside. I really wanted this to feel like a very lively type of space if you have your Sims come here. And so I wanted to have a lot of outdoor activities as well. It's actually really tough to create lots that feel very alive when there's snow on the ground, because the snow is so sort of all-encompassing and takes out any terrain paint. It really makes things feel very stark, which, I mean, obviously, I guess that's true to real life too, but yeah. So I wanted to make sure there was a good number of things outside, so this place felt very, very lively and, full of Christmas cheer. So we just looked at one house. Here's the second house as well. Now this house actually has 2 additional floors. So the first floor just has a living, bathroom, and kitchen area. The second floor is our bedroom. And there's actually access to 2 different balconies from the bedroom. We're not going to check them out because they're pretty simple, but there are two balconies there. And then here is one of the few pieces of technology on the lot. Upstairs we have a little computer area and a bookshelf, and there's also a secondary bathroom up there as well. So as we go back down to the first floor, we'll head back outside onto the porch of this building. And from here, we're going to go over to our next retail lot, which is just a little bit across the way. This is up in the front of the build. And this retail lot is, what is this considered? This is a bakery. Where is this from? I don't think this is from a pack. I think it's Get to Work. This is a bakery. So this space can function as a retail space if you would like to. In the back of this building, I was able to fit in a cupcake machine, surprisingly, because it's such a tiny building. But I did player test this. Everything works. So this building could be a functioning bakery if you would like for it to be. So this is one of two potential retail stores on this lot. The first one being the bakery, and then the second one we're going to check out next, which is actually maybe my favorite little area of this lot overall. So the second retail lot is actually a little florist. So we will go inside the florist from here. And here we can see we have the table in the back here behind the retail counter where you can make different bouquets for your Sims. We got shelves everywhere with all different types of small plants and floral arrangements that you can purchase here if you would like to. And then here's just another shot of some of the different objects that you could potentially put on sale in this store if you would like to. The door on the left here is just a bathroom, which I figured would be nice for the employee that's working here if you use the lot in that way. And then as we go upstairs, this is one of the buildings that does have a second floor that's essentially just a balcony that looks down onto the first floor. But outside of this balcony, there is a exterior balcony that has a bubble blower on it. So I thought, what a fun break time activity while you're on your shift. Break time comes around, you can go upstairs, just take a little break outside with some of your friends, kick back. But yeah, so that is the florist. And then we'll come back outside. Here's just a sort of overall shot of the back of the lot. And then we're going to go inside yet another small home. So this home back here is actually, I think, the smallest one. I think this is the smallest one, but I was able to fit in a double bed. So this one has a double bed in it, actually, surprisingly. And I think you can start to see too, a lot of these buildings utilize the same color schemes and swatches, and in a lot of cases, the same objects. But I just tried to kind of do some slight tweaks from one building to the next to make it feel like, whereas there is a very similar aesthetic in all of the buildings, they are still inherently different. They even have kind of like different layouts a little bit in each one of them. But as we go outside the door to that home, we are going into our next sort of, we'll call it a community building. And here's our library. So here is a nice little library. You can see we have a chessboard there to the right. We have a handful of bookcases in here, some computers, which are very important. This is the only other building that has computers in it. And then once we turn around as well, we can see there's a nice big roaring fire, because what is a better place to curl up and get cozy with one of your favorite books? So I thought it was nice to have this in the library, albeit a little unconventional. It made sense to me for Whoville. So as we go out the sort of back door, technically, of the library, we are back in the center of town, and we're looking at the final building in our overall village tour. So we will go up these sort of like treacherous winding staircases and go into the final building. This is by far the biggest home on the lot. There are 3 floors to this home. As we go into the home, there's this little foyer area, and the first room that we're going to check out is actually the kitchen. So the kitchen here, again, is the biggest out of all of them. So I was able to include a small little counter area for your Sims to eat at. We have a big double stove, which is really nice. And then off to the right, there's a tiny little nook over here that has the refrigerator and just some more storage kind of tucked away back there. I thought this was kind of like a nice little detail for this space. And then immediately to the left, we have another balcony. This is the balcony in the front of the house, and it has a nice little table for 2, and you have a beautiful outlook to the village overall. You can see right out to the tree in the center of the village, which I thought was a really nice spot. And then we can go up and down from here. So first we will go downstairs. And the first room we have here is just a really simple sort of like hobby room. This basically is almost all nifty knitting items. And then we also have the cross stitch piece from the cottage living pack. Here are two fake doors. I really wanted there to be a bridge from one side of the building to the next. And unfortunately, if I put something there with stilts, like a platform with stilts on it, the Sims couldn't walk under it. And I really wanted the Sims to be able to walk through this building, the sort of like gap between the bottom of the building. And so there was one central path that ran all the way through the village. So I wasn't able to figure out how to do that. You're not able to do that. Sims can't walk under foundations. So I put a faux bridge there, but there is access to this room regardless. But here's our living room. And then just beside our living room is just a little sort of working area outside. I just thought it would be nice to have, a collection of skill building objects throughout the build. And here is where I ended up putting the woodworking table along with some sort of outdoor equipment, gardening equipment, and things like that out there. And now we're going to take a little bit of a shortcut and we're just going to kind of go through one of these windows up here on the third floor to the final area of this building that we haven't checked out yet, which is the primary bedroom. Well, it's the only bedroom. And so we have a nice big double bed up here. Here's where their Christmas tree is in this building. And then as we swing around and stand next to the wardrobe, we can see that we also have a very nice vanity, some more cross-stitching objects. And then there's also a bathroom that is attached directly to this bedroom, which is a little bit different than the one we checked out before. So I figured I would include it here. And then, that's it. That's the whole village. So I figured let's quickly do just kind of an overview of what this looks like in gameplay. Here we are in just regular daylight, and you can get a better look at sort of the use of space here. This is a 64 by 64 lot that is in Henford and Bagley. And you can see I really tried to use the most out of every space. I played a lot with terrain tools for this, which really makes it hard to place objects on the ground. But I really tried to use every little corner of this lot and add something that was useful there that added to gameplay. So here is the lot overall and what it looks like. And also we just took a little peek at just a couple of levels that are involved in this build too, just for your reference. So that is my take on Whoville. I really tried to blend the different iterations of this town that we have gotten from the animated movie to the 3D CGI movie and the live action from the early 2000s. I really wanted this to be like a fun combination of all of that. I'm uploading this on Christmas Eve. I was really pushing to get this out. I know that this can be a very exciting and magical time of year for many people, and I know that it can be lonely and sad and uncomfortable and joyous, and a mix of all of those things at once. So I hope that you enjoyed checking out this build with me, hanging out together today. I hope that wherever you're spending your holiday, however you're spending your holiday, and with whomever you are spending your holiday, that you have a great day today and tomorrow, and I hope that I see you next time. So until next time, y'all.